Something that NASA doesn't want you to see.
Whenever we see something unidentified next to ISS, we have to assume it's potentially dangerous.
Orbiting the Earth almost 250 miles above sea level, the ISS is an engineering marvel that attracts astronauts from around the world. But other entities are also interested in discovering what happens at the space station and what our astronauts are up to. Can you guess who they are? They are alien spacecraft, often found hovering around the ISS. And this time, we have definite proof, as the footage NASA conveniently deleted is finally out. Get ready to witness a mysterious flying object docked near the International Space Station in a never-before-seen video. This is what NASA doesn't want you to see. On January 29, 2014, when the International Space Station silently orbited the Earth, its live video feed that operated 24 hours a day was suddenly suspended. More than the interruption in the transmission, what was curious was the event's timing, because that was the same time observers saw a strange, yellow, elliptical-shaped object docked near the ISS. The observers were shocked when they first spotted the object because it seemed to hold the same position relative to the space station. But before they could determine what the peculiar flying object was, the live feed from the International Space Station went off. Why was the feed suspended exactly when an unidentified flying object came near the ISS? Was it a coincidence or an attempt by NASA to conceal the object's identity? Immediately after the live transmission stopped, the media was abuzz with speculation about the object's origin. Several commentators explained it as nothing more than a piece of space junk. But if it really was just that, its size should have been a cause of instant worry. After all, a large piece of debris like the one we witness in the video would be a deadly threat to the ISS. But since NASA wasn't concerned about spotting it so close to the space station, we must assume that it wasn't space junk. The object's apparent movement is another reason to dismiss the space debris explanation. We can clearly see the object does not behave like space junk at all. Why? Because these pieces of debris are orbiting the Earth at an incredible speed of 175,000 miles per hour. You cannot expect them to come near the station and just sit next to it nicely. The next guess would be that the object is part of the existing infrastructure of the space station, but there's no evidence that the thing was part of the station's schematics. If you look closely, the shape appears to be attached to the Russian docking port, so maybe it was the Soyuz spacecraft. The Soyuz spacecraft was first launched in 1967, and the capsule is still used to carry trios of astronauts to and from the International Space Station. It is also used for sending supplies. Could this yellow object be the Soyuz spacecraft bringing the Russian supplies from Earth? It could be, but the Russian space station has not acknowledged it, so we can't be sure. But one thing that we can observe is that the object we see on the feed looks nothing like a Soyuz spacecraft. So, if it's not a Russian-approved spacecraft docked near the Russian side, what is it? Does it have permission to come inside? Another explanation offered was that the bright object could be a lens reflection of the solar panels of the Soyuz spacecraft. Or it could be an internal reflection off of instrumentation in the window through which the video was taken. The only problem with this explanation is that we can see the Earth moving beneath the object.
That the light came and went, shadows came and went, and it seemed to have an actual presence. So that's mysterious.
If the object were nothing extraordinary, NASA would not have suspended its live transmission to hide it from viewers. Do you think this mysterious object was a UFO or something else? The ISS has been the center of alien attention since it entered space, and no matter how NASA tries to explain it, there have been multiple occurrences of unidentified objects flying too close to the space station. Look at this video footage recorded from the ISS's camera. What do you think these bizarre groups of lights represent? The footage shows clusters of glowing orbs lazily drifting past the orbiting space lab. It was captured on a live camera strapped to the ISS, broadcasting footage of its surroundings throughout the day. The footage was clipped by a Reddit user and shared on the social media site, where it garnered thousands of views. What do you think these lights are? Alien spacecraft spying on Earth? NASA explained the phenomenon alongside a photo of lights snapped by an astronaut aboard the ISS. They said, "The fishermen are likely luring Todorodes pacificus, a species known as the Japanese flying squid, to the surface with bright xenon bulbs." Does this mean these lights are emanating from squid fishing boat fleets? Maybe they are, but then how do you explain this footage?
It appears to be spinning slowly as if to get a better view.
It's visible in the background for almost the entire 7-hour spacewalk.
Flight engineer Peggy Whitson captured this video when 2 astronauts were on a routine spacewalk to perform maintenance work on the space station. She caught this mysterious object on film that appeared to be otherworldly, spinning slowly, as if to get a better view of something. Unlike usual sightings that last for mere seconds, this object was visible in the background for almost the entire 7-hour spacewalk. Peggy's video blew up social media as users began speculating about the origin of the strange object. Was it a UFO monitoring the Earth? This wouldn't be the first time alien hunters have asked this question. In 1998, NASA spotted a mysterious black object orbiting the Earth during the first space shuttle mission to the International Space Station. The strange entity was given the label STS-088700-2466 and classified as space junk. However, experts weren't ready to believe this story. They thought the black object caught on film was the infamous Black Knight satellite, a 13,000-year-old black alien satellite. The tale of the Black Knight began with Nikola Tesla, who said he had received radio signals from space during his 1899 radio experiments in Colorado Springs. He believed the signals were an attempt by Martians to communicate with human beings. Black Knight truthers think these radio pulses were sent from the same satellite. The theory that aliens were trying to communicate with Earthlings through radio pulsars propagated even further in 1927 when civil engineer and ham radio operator Jürgen Hald stumbled upon an unusual quality to his radio signals. Every time he would transmit from his home in Oslo, the signals would unexpectedly return to him moments later. Hald was convinced he was experiencing an alien phenomenon. A few years later, Time published a story noting that the U.S. Navy had detected an unidentified satellite that may have been a piece of Soviet spy technology. Although it was later written off as a broken piece of the Discoverer, an early U.S. photo reconnaissance satellite, it was hard for believers of the Black Knight controversy to accept the explanation. From Tesla hearing pulsars, Hal's receiving an echo, and Time reporting on a secret U.S. government satellite, there was plenty of evidence that suggested an alien satellite was orbiting the Earth. The Black Knight goes back to the early years of the space age, and even before people began to watch the skies looking for satellites. These so-called black satellites were unexplained blips that mysteriously appeared on radar, and sometimes ominous black shapes were observed hovering in the sky. It is believed the Black Knight avoids detection through a cloaking device that allows it to maintain its position without being spotted. Experts also say the alien satellite flies a very peculiar rotation around the Earth, from pole to pole. So, as the Earth spins in that direction, eventually, every continent will come underneath the spot where the Black Knight satellite is positioned. Do you think the object spotted near the ISS was part of a UFO surveillance network? Let us know your opinions in the comments below. Subscribe to our channel for more thrilling UFO videos.